does.
That's the San Diego. That's the American cruiser with SAP and AP.
Mm-hmm.
That's the definition of a niche ship, and once you've cleared the DDs, you don't have a lot to do, I'm afraid.
I'd even argue it even sucks at killing DDs. It really is not a good ship. It's just, especially because once again, I think earlier on you said that literally tier 8 is just full of battleships. You don't really see a lot of that, where at tier 10, the Austin is just loving the meta right now. But the San Diego has nothing.
I was going to call it the Austin, yes. And that's Austin is indeed. That's maybe more at the right place than that thing is, correct. Sanzang! Meta, immediately, boom. Best defensive CV at tier 8, but not as strong tier 4 tier as the Saipan. So it's still the strongest pick if you're playing in the division. It's still the only hard counter to all the other CVs, but it's not a tier 8 Saipan. It's not a strong tier 4 tier.
It's still pretty darn good. Did they end up fixing the torpedoes where half the torpedoes would go under? I think they did, didn't they?
No, for me I didn't have any problem with that. Not more than with the other ships, at least.
Oh, okay. Because I know it was just a visual bug. Like, they still hit. They still hit, but you saw like some torpedoes go under. I was like,
no, it did not happen to me. Maybe occasionally, but
maybe they did. Shimimato.
I'm not sure about this one. Go ahead, because I'm not sure about this one.
So I'm gonna go right into competitive, because this thing is basically, you have the Petro or the 360 turrets straight on, or even better, because one of the turrets, actually I think it's the front turret, is the one that doesn't go all the way around. You actually want to kite with this ship. You just basically always want to be kiting. You show a small silhouette, you have your torpedoes in your butt, and now you're backing up into a cap with a bunch of guns. This is just a better Mogami straight out to me.
Interesting, because what I don't like about the line, I haven't played it too much. I've already spent a considerable amount on my channel on the heavy cruiser line, the Japanese heavy cruiser line, but what I don't like about it is it's just you don't have any precise aim or reload or anything, what the Mogami does have. So when you have to be super accurate at long range, that's a bit annoying. And those ships are also long range ships, by the way, so they're very good HE, very good range performance, but I'll give it a bit more time later on. In my current opinion, I would put it in niche, but I don't have enough experience to provide a definitive opinion on it. It seems like a very high skill cap, to be honest.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's going to be a fine ship for a lot of people, but no. Ship Smasher. Well, maybe I'll just handle this one against for you. Oh, no, it's playable. It is playable. I was looking for that. It's playable. It does have, it's a unique skill. That's the only thing that really pulls it out. It's got like the 80-second crazy skill. So it's like, oh, okay, that's interesting. It's not like the other ones where it's kind of like, but why?
And the next wave will probably have a button where you can actually create a black hole on the screen, and then the enemy ships will be thrown into it, and then or turns into pigs or chickens, or just like in World of Warcraft or whatever. So yeah.
Let's get hot takes from DFA today. What's going to be coming next?
The only Tech 3 ship in meta so far. Yes. It's still good, still relevant, hasn't been touched since the beginning, and it's still excellent. Fighters are a bit on the weak side, but the black one fixes that, and I think it's still one of the best nukers at tier 8. And unlike the Sanzang, you can play alone. You're a bit more comfortable playing alone with that thing. So I'm probably not going to keep mine. I'm going to replace it with a Black Shokaku, because Black Shokaku in the shipyard for 30 steel, it's a steal. I mean, it's go people, buy that thing. Just buy it. You will thank me later. Even if you don't play CVs now, you will thank me later. I just haven't decided with which account I'm going to buy it. That's all. So
yeah, that's a hard one. Yeah, no, Shokaku it's a high skill cap though. Like the entire Japanese line, you have a lot of things to manage, and if you can't manage that, it's a little rough, but you can do a lot with those ships. Siliwangi.
That's actually I'm almost into 6 digits average damage with that thing.
Really?
It's yeah. It's I mean, just some raw statistics with you. So the guns, they're not great. You only get 4 of them. That's correct. Concealment is excellent, 6 kilometers. That's almost the best at tier 8. Maneuverability, it's average. It's okay. Gun performance, not very good, but you fire 10 deep water torpedoes for 44,000 damage. That's and they go at almost 9 kilometers. They go super fast. Yeah, it's yeah, that's if you compare it with the Kagero, it's a full 10,000 more damage per salvo. So it's just ridiculous. Yeah. It's actually the same burst damage as the Asashu, more or less. So if you can connect those torpedoes, so it's excellent as a pure torpedo DD, and you get utility as well. I think I don't remember the skill set on that thing, but yeah, it's sonar and fuel smoke. So you get sonar. I don't think it's really useful because with those guns you don't want to get too close. It's manageable, but it's not. It's not Japanese. You can get them on target and you can keep them on target. So that's one thing. But it's still 4 guns and not very big. Somewhere between competitive and niche, maybe niche because it's also a big torpedo boat with a bit more smoke and sonar. So, but for me, it's a good ship.
I unfortunately did not have it. I was actually putting that in Dear God Why, and then all of a sudden you started talking about it. I was like, okay, probably just me. That's probably just. I'm gonna ignore my notes and just.
No. It's no. I mean, maybe I've been lucky. It's not like I haven't played a ton of battles with it, but the thing is, if you like YOLOing ships, this one has sonar, fuel smoke, and insanely huge torpedo alpha.
Yeah.
If you like those, that's a winning combination in any playbook for DDs. So, and unlike another one that we're going to review a bit later on, which has these elements as well, but is missing one key piece of the puzzle. So,
yeah, I just maybe I'm just not looking at it right. So now that I hear that, I'll have to, once again retrying some stuff.
You just need to put your torpedoes once on target per game, and you've got 40k. So,
not bad, man. Let's talk about another torpedo boat.
It's yeah, I think it's Takao is a good ship for me. Huh? It's a better protected Miyoko with a bit more range, and that's exactly what it is. It's quite survivable, and yeah, the guns it's quite okay. You get precise aim when you need it. Torpedoes, it's quite good as well. I mean, if you manage to catch a ship, then it's so you can handle a variety of situations except one, which is
battleships.
CVs.
Oh, well, that too. I would say battleships too, because this thing is such a. If you go,
you go stealth, huh? So voilà.
But if you end up getting spotted, this thing is really super easy to hit. Yeah. I love the Takao. It's just I gotta say it's playable because it's such a large ship at this tier, and there's so many CVs. You could argue a niche. I can argue. I can see that.
I would argue a niche for this one because it's still a big torpedo boat. Huh? So and it's excellent at that playstyle. It's just that the playstyle is useless when you're in center control or in epicenter. So voilà.
Yeah, or you just get a CV and you can't stealth, and it's gonna just the dead in the water.
Which is always the case, by the way, in confrontational maps. In wide open maps, then you can actually escape it somehow, but just don't go anywhere near the middle and you'll be fine. But the next one.
I'm just gonna put a very playable.
Yeah. It's a heavy cruiser. I don't wake up in the morning thinking let's play heavy cruiser. So
yeah, and as much as like Black Talon technically is the exact same thing, it's got a niche for no good reason, and this one you get for free. But then again, why are you going down to get the Patro anyways? Why?
It's playable.
Yeah, it's playable. Trash can.
Trash can. I haven't played it. I haven't played the Russian gunboat light yet, so I don't know.
So since
on
it's
paper,
buff,
I'm not seeing anything that's pulling me towards these ships on paper. So
I love the Kiev. I love the Delny. I do. The trash can is, since the buffs, it's now playable. Since now it doesn't have just horrible torpedo range, but it still doesn't have that good torpedo range. I think it's like 5-6 or something like that. So it's usable. But you don't. I think at Kiev you get 7 kilometers, it's definitely usable for those type of boats. So, yeah, trash can. It's not trash can anymore, but definitely it's just above that. Tiger.
I would when I look at it on paper, I would always pick the other line, to be honest. So
Yeah,
that would be my guess.
Udaloy is just so phenomenal.
Right.
So yeah, it makes sense.
Udaloy, it's a very strong one, yes.
Oh.
The Tiger, the next one.
That goes right into niche for me. It is such a unique ship. So unique.
For me, I have a perfect record with it. 100% win rate, 100% MVP rate.
Wow.
I've also only played one battle with it.
Of course. Oh my god.
I remember playing it in the super test server, and I was constantly coming in bot games, wondering what I was doing in those games with it. It's just I don't see any reason to play it, to be honest, because sonar and radar, you have DDs that do that much better than it, and it cannot deal any damage. That thing. So that's the problem. So. I mean, you're talking about a battleship heavy meta, and that thing is AP only, short range, 4 guns. Yeah, I mean.
For me, the Tiger, you pair it with something. So when this first came out on that server, I got 2 Clevelands right next to me, and basically during the entire game, I put BD on, everything like that, pimped it out, and basically you give Cleveland smoke, it ends up being OP.
I would do that in a Belfast or even in a Cheshire, to be honest. So.
No. I think it does bring a lot to the table, but it's a tough one. I'll agree with that. Tier pits.
Dear God, why? Immediately, Dear God, why?
Oh, it's so aged. It's so aged. Why? Give it a buff, because it does have really cool camo.
It's one of the first ships I tested in training room because I wanted to see if it was a Bismarck with torpedoes, and it's less accurate than the Bismarck. It hits less hard than the Bismarck, takes more damage than the Bismarck. It pays a very heavy price for the torpedoes, and you've got stuff like Odin, Brandenburg, and all the other at the tier. There's no reason to even buy that thing, to be honest. So because it's 12,000 or something like that. So
it's so aged. It really needs a massive buff. And I don't even think it should be a secondary overload. I think it should just literally be like a bunch of different skills or something. I don't know. Bunch of buffs. Give it buffs all around.
Well, I mean, and 5 kilometers torpedoes. It's long. Those are long gone. Nobody has that anymore. So
no, it's gone the wayside. Okay, Tone. If I don't put this above niche, at least everyone's gonna riot.
But the thing is, but Tone, it's a skill cannon. So you have to be good with Japanese cruisers, cruisers in general, Japanese cruisers in particular, and torpedo bombers, and manage the 3 all together.
Yep.
So for me, it's a good ship. And especially when you're in game modes when there is no CV, you get the scouting capability. You can trash DDs very easily. You just put 1 salvo into them and finish them with the torpedo bombers, and that's game over for the DDs. But it just takes a lot of skill and practice to do well. You don't have a lot of choice when it comes to tier 8 Japanese cruisers, to be honest, because. And this one, it's a tough one. I don't know. If you know what you're doing in the right game mode, it can be competitive. But for me, I'm going to put it in niche because I think it's a much better niche than the Issei.
Yes.
Because those quadrants are actually usable. The Issei, it's just dumb Japanese torpedo dive bombers, which are not dealing a lot of damage, not setting a lot of fires.
But for competitive spotting them, because then you can get both sides. You get 2 of them.
If you're in a tournament mode and you need a spotter, this is the one for you. But the problem is that torpedo bombers, they require you to be focused. And so that means you're dropping your map awareness, you're dropping everything that's happening, and you can actually get punished quite hard when you're doing those things, because torpedo bombers, you can divert your attention for 10-20 seconds with it. And that's kind of complicated with cruisers. And
that's 10-20 seconds you could be running right into some torps, or not
right
notice
into some torpedoes, or having that Roma 10 kilometers behind, pressing those magic buttons, and then sending 2 salvos in your face. So
and sending you right back to port. Peace.
Sending you back to port. So
Vanguard.
I think it's a very good ship, Vanguard. It's a very good ship. Somewhere between competitive and meta, I would probably keep it in competitive because it doesn't do anything exciting for me. And it cannot bow tank as well. You kind of have to show a bit too much broadside to use the guns, but they're super accurate. Can hit your targets. It's very good at dealing damage.
The sucker is just nimble. It is.
It's
I think it's the most nimble battleship in the at tier 8. So you have to. It's a super cruiser in my opinion. It's a battle cruiser. So I enjoy it. I love it.
I agree with that, and it's super accurate. It's super comfortable at range. It's just that if I had to compare it with the others, they're either excellent at short to mid range, like the Black Bismarck, and even good at range, or just like the Roma, they can bow tank and then voila, wipe the floor with you. So yeah,
it's
something the Vanguard cannot do. So
no.
Voilà.
Oh, Vittorio
Veneto.
Yep. You get sat down. No? Oh yeah. For me, it's niche. It's the thing is that if you like in a heavy battleship meta, which tier 8 definitely is, it doesn't have the time to be. It's it could be competitive if there was more DDs, but because of the meta, it's just niche. Sometimes you're gonna have a fun game, sometimes you're not, but it's not bad. It's not a bad ship at all. Very useful. Way more than playable, but.
I agree with that, and that's my problem with anything bigger than DDs for the Italian lines. So,
yeah.
Which leads us to
the Italian DDs. Yep, the one that has the dang turret problem. This thing is where would you put this? Where would you?
But the burst damage is on the low side, so it's not a super torpedo boat. It's decent. The gun performance, the range is not good, but the performance for me it's there. It can definitely hit targets and clear out a cap. And you've got the gimmick. I don't really like it. The acceleration thing, and then the few smoke, whatever that is.
Emergency
why not?
Smoke. Yeah.
I think it's decent. But I haven't had any problems with it with the rest of the line. It's also reasonably maneuverable, so it's good all around. But
Yeah, for me, I put it in niche. It's not quite there. The tier 9 and tier 10, you start getting really good at the burst EPM, so you can burst down and really rip apart DDs. This one's just not quite there. Not quite, but it is still unique enough because you got a really unique playstyle. It is going to be fun. It is also at this time affected by the turret bug, so you have the problem with the torpedo being on the wrong side sometimes. So once that gets fixed, maybe competitive, but.
Well, it's a good balance line. Voilà. It's a good balance line with a variation of the playstyle, a short-range subgun. So that's it's living proof that Wargaming is able to release a good balance line. It's not either completely underpowered or stupidly broken from the get-go. So it's we have to nurture this one. We have to be good to it.
Yeah, definitely. Oh man.
Oh, we're not going to be good to the next one. Oh, for fuck's sake. That thing, that's the definition of a piñata, the Vladivostok. Jesus Christ. It's literally, I think it's is it the worst armor at tier 8? Let me check my stats, because...
Now, this has been used in competitive scenes, though. The problem is I've seen some really good players in Vladivostok. So that's why I know it's easy to hit, because you, of course, have the massive bow that you can just pen. And that's why I put it in playable, but where are you?
I'll just give you some figures here. When you hit it, I use the Alabama for training room testing as a benchmark for accuracy and damage and armor, etc. Okay, Alabama, 200 meters, relatively small battleship. I forgot to say that. That's also one of the reasons for which it's meta. But the average damage that the Vladivostok takes from a Lenin, it's 1,000. Average damage that the Lenin takes from an Alabama, 1,000, from a Vladivostok, 1,400, Champagne, 1,450. It does have a big amount of hit points, and that's what keeps it afloat. But for the rest, it's just everything you
It's-
throw at him, it just takes it. So it's an invitation to get Citadel, that thing. So
It's
yeah.
rough. I put it in playable. Where'd you put it?
Well, it's playable because the survivability is compensated
No.
by the amount of hit points. But every time I see it, the thing at tier 8, when you look at the battleship, you got two categories of battleships. You've got the 38 centimeters, which are accurate, but do not have the same hitting power as the 406, which are less accurate. So that's how it evens out.
Yeah.
So you can play the 38s more at range and focus on cruisers. And the 406, you can hit a Bismarck at it with it at long range, and you will deal your damage no matter what. But the Vladivostok, it's the only ship with the former Amagi, which they all agree on. Let's just punch him in the face and deal full damage.
That's true. Yeah, it's a rough ship. It is.
It's a bit unforgiving.
Yep. Kremlin's worth it, but Soyuz is Soyuz is something, isn't it? Though, yeah. At least I like.
I mean, test it in training rooms and see how much damage that thing gets, and then yeah.
Probably a lot. All right, Wichita.
Wichita, where would you put that thing?
It's okay.
I would not put it on par with Cleveland. That's the starting point. I think it's inferior. It's a bit more maneuverable, but it's a lot less utilitarian. Not utilitarian at all. But it's still decent. You can get around things. Yeah, playable. Well, somewhere between playable and niche. So
yeah,
it doesn't do anything spectacular for me. So
no, the whole Wichita, Baltimore, and even Des Moines, they all kind of need something. They need a little buff of some kind.
Des Moines is fine. Des Moines is fine, but the road to get there, it's not super exciting. Let me put it this way. Wukong.
Torpedo reloading Charles Martel.
I did not like it. I was intrigued by it because I thought it was a unique combination of things. A torpedo reload boat with stealth torp capabilities, because your torpedo range is higher than your concealment if you're equipping it correctly. With torpedo reload, but that does not get anything to increase the damage output. No precise aim, no rapid reload. So, and again, I think scout plane is good on battleships, but on cruisers, I don't like it. It diverts your attention too much for what's happening, and you get smashed a lot while. Dear God, why? I think it's fair because honestly, it's a bit like the Irian. You can execute so much better with the regular Tech 3 line, the free-to-play line. I like that the idea. I mean, it's beautiful. I like the idea that they experiment on combinations of skills, but in that case, it's no.
Yeah, I wish it was a little more interesting, maybe. Right. But oh dear Lord. Okay, Z35, or actually Z23. Z23 are out of order, unfortunately, but Z23.
23 for me, it's the weakest of all the German DD line, to be honest. It sits between the two kings of the line, which are the Lebmas and the 46. I would not put it in Dear God Why because that's too hard on it. It's definitely playable. But tier 8, it's the tier where your 128s are not cutting it anymore. You're not penning cruisers anymore. Mike Takao is going to laugh at you, Amalfi laughs at you, etc. And you don't have any smoke. All the DDs you're facing, they have smoke. Many of them have sonar, etc. So they're actually equipped to kill you. And they smoke up, and there's nothing you can do. You have to disengage. So it's incredibly annoying to play, to be honest.
Yeah, it's keep going, keep grinding, but it's. I put in Dear God Why because like those 128s are painful for that tier.
My sentiment is that they're also less accurate than the previous and the next one. Maybe it's me, but I was not hitting as easily engaging DDs as comfortably as with the others. For the rest, you're still a good DD. You still have decent torpedoes. You still have. Let me check there. because the DPM it's actually quite decent on these things, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, no, the torque DPM is oddly decent
Yeah,
on
it's
KMDDs.
it's the same as the torpedo DPM. It's the same as the Kagero. It's 36,000. So you just deal less damage per wave, but you reload a lot faster. So concretely, it's capable as a DD, but it's just a bit too unforgiving. And
That's
if
why
a
I put it in
Benson
here.
decides to smoke up at more than 4 kilometers away from you, then bye bye. So, and they all have
Yeah.
smokes. They basically all have smokes now. So I think it's one of the few DDs without smoke. So
Yeah, that's
you're
why I
playing
put it in Dear
yeah,
God Why, but barely
buff,
playable.
ouais.
Barely. Yeah, buff
Barely
one.
playable. Ouais.
Z35.
For me, it's more of the same, except you lose your torpedoes. Because it's what is the torpedo range on that thing? Is like 5-6 kilometers, something like
Yeah,
that.
that's why I was like, I'd almost go Dear God Why. Like Z35 is.
No,
In
it
reality, I
seems
completely forgot this existed, and then someone mentioned, and I was like, oh crap, I gotta add that.
It seems we do not have a single good German DD at tier 8. They're all garbage.
They are bad.
Yes.
They get better. They get better, but they do. But no, yeah.
They get better. They do. Stick to it. Stick to it. I promise you, the next two are absolutely amazing. The 46 is great. The 52 is great as well. Just put your head down, get to it, and remember, you are not playing the Gustav Julius Merker.
Yes, you are not doing that.
Voilà. It can always be worse. It can always be worse.
I do find it odd that actually, if you look at the Z46, right, for the tier 9, the tier 9s are completely opposite. So, and then the tier 10s are opposite in their playstyle because the Felix is aggressive as all get out, and then the Elbing you kite, and then in the other line it's actually you kite the first time, and then the Z52 you're all aggressive.
You got the guns in front, and you actually have an incentive to punish people and actually jump straight at their throat. Yes.
Nope.
And the last one, I haven't played the line as well, to be honest. I saw that this one only has 6 guns.
Yes.
Yeah, last year my daughter was born, so anything that was published last year, I'm still catching up. So to be honest, I was busier changing diapers than playing ships. So
yeah, that is a life, and fun times. But Zeton, unfortunately, I'm gonna temper your expectations. It's playable.
Yeah. But the Dancing told me don't expect too much from this one. So yeah.
Yeah, but I will say though the Prince Ruprecht, like realistically, you go Mackinson, fantastic. Prince Heinrich, yeah, it's okay. It works. And with that, Zeton, God, it's struggling at that tier, but it still kind of works. And then Prince Ruprecht and Schlieffen are just a blast. They are just stupid fun. So it's worth it. Just a little rough. Just gonna temper that right there.
Yeah, tier 8 actually, yeah, it's funny because the German battleship line gets its peak at tier 8, which is the Bismarck, and then all the other lines, it's kind of their dip at tier 8. So yeah.
Yeah,
well, it is what it is. So.
Yep, it is.
I think we've done it. We've done it.
We have, and I think, oh my God, only in 2 hours and 28 and
2 hours and 40 minutes. Yes.
We're doing pretty good here. Oh my gosh. We did it.
That was fun. I enjoyed it. Let's wait until we hear the comments because I think we've just upset a number of people there. But
we always do. But that's the beauty of Tiermaker. That's the beauty of Tiermaker.
I liked it. So thank you for the invite. Thank you for pushing me to revisit some of these things as well.
Hey, thank you for joining. It was great. I've been needing to do a collab with you for a long time, and I was like, hey, well, he plays a lot of tier 8s. Then I looked at your videos. I was like, oh, he definitely plays a lot of tier 8s. Okay, yeah, this is perfect. Let's do this.
I think we were all tiers, all classes. So
yeah. Oh my gosh, thank you for joining us. And if you haven't, go check out DFA. Let us know in the comment section down below. And also, I'll have the list there so you can make your own. Kind of plan it out and have some fun when we're doing this. Oh man, I think that's just about everything because it's been a long podcast and really early morning for me.
Yeah,
and getting later for you.
It's time to go get the baby at the kindergarten. So yeah,
I'll let you go. Thank you all for joining us. Once again, Thank you, DFA, for joining this in the Tier 8 Tier Maker. Let us know everything in the comments section down below. Have a good one, everyone. Peace.